Pettiness doesn't go away.
How did you guys learn how to choose your battles?
Do I want to have that conversation because I don't want to feel wrong yet? She didn't do it right away and it pissed me off, and then I snapped at her about it.
Yeah, let's do this, let's dance,
And that triggers me emotionally.
Did you hear me say I was really petty?
Or you're just going to talk at me?
You just choose the high road?
Do you need me to listen? Do you need advice?
No, I don't want a solution. They're an idiot, and that's it.
This would also tie into how did you guys learn how to choose your battles with each other? Because I feel like that's something that people have a hard time dealing with, because I feel like people in general have a thing that they need to be right. Yes. And being right doesn't necessarily win. You don't win the argument because you're right.
Did you hear me say I was really petty?
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. It's I had to really teach myself that it's not a matter of being right all the time. There's certain times I'm like, you know what? I know I'm right, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to change anything.
Yeah. It won't. Doesn't help. So
it doesn't help.
So, to answer your question,
and I know there's a lot of ego when it comes to the both of you in this field. So for me, actually, because I just thought about just the other day when we were in the bedroom. I don't remember what the reaction was about, but I asked something of you, and then I got upset. The second time I asked. You remember what it was?
No idea. Gone.
So, but that goes to the point, because once we resolve something, it's we already have to stay with the solution, move on. So the point being is that something, I asked her to do something, and she didn't do it right away, and it pissed me off, and then I snapped at her about it. And when I snapped at her, she said, whoa, what's all this attitude for? Which immediately for me was what is all this attitude? And then I was able to say, oh, okay, so this triggered me on something within my feeling understood, and I felt that I wasn't being understood here. So it came all to this, I always go around the world now feeling understood. And with you, I feel that with our relationship, I feel the most trusting and understood. So when something threatens that, when I feel like I'm not being understood by her, then I'm fuck, I'm all alone. And that triggers me emotionally. And then I'm snapping out of that place. This was literally how the conversation happened. She called me out to attention of hey, you're upset. I reflected on what is making me upset, explored it, expressed it. She understood, but it's a me issue. It wasn't a us issue. It wasn't a her issue. It was a me issue. But me acknowledging okay, I'm snapping for no reason. And that's the part where shifting from oh, because I asked you to do this, I can go into that round that's ineffective. It's just for me to be right, feel right. Well, actually, what is it about me that's upset here is it's effective.
I found that being curious has been the best thing for not just this relationship, but any relationship. It's whenever I'm feeling something, when something gets my reaction, me being curious instead of assuming, because I assume a lot, is what I do. And going to find out, is what I'm feeling the reality, the intention behind somebody else's actions? Being curious enough to not take it personal, like you said, has been very good. But I said I'm very petty, and I typically the choosing the battles. I ask myself all the time. It's do I want to be right or do I want to be effective? And that's a question that I ask myself in all of my settings. At work, I'm do I want to be right or do I want to be effective? And if it's not going to be effective, I'm going to drop it. With Rances, though, I have the opportunity to still, because pettiness doesn't go away. You just choose the high road. I have the opportunity to be you know what I really wanted to answer? And I say,
I do the same thing, and usually that sometimes will still get me in trouble. But I didn't say it though. He's but you just said it. I'm yeah, but I didn't say it in the context of the argument. I'm just letting you know that's the first thought that
stop myself from saying.
This is why I don't speak certain times when I'm angry, because shit like that's gonna come out, and I'm real sarcastic, and it could be an asshole, and now you hate me.
Yeah. Well, I do it. I will resolve the conflict, and then I say, "Let me tell you what I really wanted to say in the moment." And then some days I won't resolve the conflict. He'll snap, and that's the moment when he said, like he said, he snapped about something. I was like, "Oh well, why are you? What did I do?"
Yeah.
I can if I'm having a day too, that could have turned into he snaps. I'm like, "Oh,
You want to see a snap?
yeah, like let's do this, let's dance," like, and then you go into this back and forth. It goes into a bigger waste of time at this point. For us, it's a waste of time because we have learned how to communicate. And I'm not saying arguing is a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. It's always good to argue if you have room for improvement on your communication style. But then it's the learning from it of like, oh, he's saying this, I'm gonna do that. Let's not do that. Let's go to the issue, right? So it becomes that. So I've learned that with Francis or just in our relationship, I'm still able to express my sarcasm and be an asshole when I want to be, because it's a safe space where it's not taken out of context.
Yeah.
And the idea is that it's not taken out of context, which it's good because that doesn't go away.
You need that release.
That doesn't go away.
Yeah. No, I get that 100%. I notice that there's times, like I know when my girl's in the mood, because usually with her, she's a overachiever, and there's certain times I'm like, you just put so much on your plate that you stressed yourself out, and I already know it because I see the manic look in your eyes right now, and then I know that you're gonna start lashing out at me, and I'm like, and I have to like, I know where you're coming from. Let's take a breather. Let's think about why you're upset right now. I was like, is it me, or is it because you put a lot on your plate and now you feel like everything's caving in on you? And I'm just going to tell you, let's cut off the excess fat and let's just do what makes you feel good, and then we'll go from there, because I can't deal with you fucking being this mean right now, because I only know one way to deal with this, and it's not a good way to...
Effective.
It's not effective. It's just going to make you worse. It's going to make my day worse. So now I respect that a lot, because there's certain times where I just say stuff and I'm not even thinking, and she's like, did you just hear what you said? No.
Not really.
Then she plays it back. I'm like, oh, I could see how that would...
Be taken that way.
Yeah. I could see why you want me to sleep on the couch right now. I get it. Understood.
Funny you say that about trying to achieve too many things. This is the number one complaint, because I think Rances also recognizes that sometimes. He's like, do you see what you're doing? And I'm like, no. He's like, you want to do all these things and you're not taking into account, physics and reality. And I'm just like, it can't be done. And it's this, delusional thing that I can do it all, which I can. It's just people cooperated.
I had that talk this morning. I was like, girl, you gotta cut out one of the things that you want to do today, because I guarantee you're not gonna get to all of them, and it's gonna be my problem somehow.
Then you're gonna get upset, which is life. Yeah, for sure.
Tara,
I think another aspect to that is like with the kids, we do a lot of, we literally tag each other in and out. So when one of us, like, let's say we're parenting and we're already like, we're past the edge and we're already just snapping, just like with the kids, just like, no, I said that and go do that and you did it. We walk up, we go like this to each other and we recognize, so we walk out the room and the other one takes place with Zen, like, okay guys, what's going on here? What's happening?
so you guys have like good cop, bad cop situations, I'm assuming, where it's like,
No, it's just there's so let's say I'm having a tough situation with the kids, trying to get them to do something or whatever, and like I started at this Zen place, and it starts to build. The frustration starts to build. When we see that building, Paola will walk in, high five, and I should come back from that Zen place, and it starts to building. I'll come back in. So we have this tag team approach that like we literally like tag each other. Sometimes like we're so in the room that we go.
Yeah, it doesn't catch me up.
And then it's like, oh, okay.
Take this before I kill one of them. Just take it.
No, he takes it because I'm ready to fight my kids. I'm ready to fight them.
Let's square it up.
He's like, I already tagged you out. I was like, no, I can stay. No.
I have a question for you though, because like me, you're in a relatively newer relationship that's serious. What have been some of your findings now that you're older, living with somebody compared to like in the past?
Before you answer that question, how long have you been in your relationship, and how long have you been?
I think it's going on 3 years, 4 years, some sort of years. There's years involved.
Marina and I have been together for over a year, a little over a year.
No.
Yeah. I mean, well, I've had the great opportunity to watch them argue and fight. So one thing about me is that I believe I learn very quickly, and I'm able to apply things very, very fast.
Yeah.
So like, we went
His arrogance.
He's just really smart, you guys.
fucking smart, man.
Okay,
That's why it just keeps me around. If not my difficult ass, he wouldn't be able to handle it every single day. My fucking pettiness to two people petty around him. Like we had gone on a trip to upstate New York, and they had gotten into an argument over breakfast, and Marina and I were there just
witnessing.
watching. And I literally
Made it mad awkward for them.
Of course.
No, I wasn't awkward.
Well, Marina was.
Marina was probably feeling a little awkward.
Yeah, right. Because you're used to it. You're like, oh, mom and dad are fighting, whatever. Yeah.
But I always take it as an opportunity to learn, because I'm like, oh, this is how they converse. So like, I remember you guys said, well, the way that we argue now is like, we're not even yelling at each other anymore. And I was like, all right, how do I skip over that entire process of like them having to yell at each other? I was like, where Marina and I don't have to yell at each other. We could just have a conversation. So then I watch and I learn, and I just cut their process down in half, which is what
That's awesome.
I try to become the most efficient,
Yeah.
create the most efficient process. And literally after they left and we started going home, Marina and I did an analytical breakdown of their entire
Our
art.
coach, and you came out, you're like, all right, you see the X over here, you see the
Yeah, I was just like,
shift
shit,
over
the way
here.
they did this and they did this, and like their perspectives. And then we went back and then we had dinner, lunch with both of you. And we gave our perspectives on like, well, I didn't necessarily believe that Paola was in the right. What she was arguing was effective, but then we got more information. And I think for me, it's being able to observe that. Like, those things have helped my relationship with Marina out. There are personal things that I still have to work on.
We all have
that
things
affect the relationship.
till the day we die.
Yeah.
And even then some.
Yeah, one thing that I struggle with still is like in the moment that I'm not comfortable with something, like actually speaking about it, right? And
You still shut down a little bit?
Or you brush it.
I try to, I think it's more of a suppression thing. Like I try to suppress it to see like what information or what else am I missing in terms of like where I'm wrong. I do this a lot with Rances, where like I'll go 2-3 weeks being pissed, quiet, until I find more information that either solidifies my point of view or says you're wrong.
So you let things simmer?
Yeah, but it's because it's like no knowledge, and then I'm not willing to go out and get that knowledge, like get that data, right? Like, do I want to have that conversation because I don't want to feel wrong yet?
And that's been something for me.
Honest, I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's been something for me that I've had to learn from actually both of you, because like I said before, I like to go into it right now, like right now, and like Mo in the past, like when I push him too hard, it becomes a fucking blow up, like literally dynamite going off.
Yeah.
And
That was only one time, man.
okay, so there was the one time on Zoom. There was the one time when we did it at the center. There was clients were there, and we had a blow up. There was a time in your basement. There have been quite
Not that I blew up, that we had arguments.
Yeah.
okay.
He pushes you
Yeah.
to have the argument.
No, but there was one time that I really blew up. Like I just started throwing shit
Lost it.
over.
Yeah.
This motherfucker was trying.
Right, you're throwing stuff on Zoom. That's the least
Yeah, like I
effective.
just like fucking threw my book across the room, and I was like, it's rare for me to get that angry. Where I was like exhausted for
Yeah.
the rest of the entire day.
I bet. Yeah,
I
you
was just
the anger really took over.
It took over.
Yeah.
Like, but like to that point, like that, like immediately, like he just hung up the Zoom call. For me, that was like super frustrating because like we didn't resolve, we didn't come with solutions. So what I did was like I did that on my own. I started journaling immediately after the call and like reflecting on everything. So like I've had to learn that aspect of like, and Paola can be the same way where if I push too much, it's like what you said is like there's just explosion and like a reaction, which then if you square up with me, like I try to keep my calm, but once I hit that point where it's like I'm past the stress, now I'm gonna be belligerent as well. So then now it's like, damn it. When I realize in the moment while I'm like screaming, I like realize, shit, I lost the pacing here. I gotta bring myself back to calm, and I'm able to do that in the moment. But like Paola, for example, if she's in that, she tells me, no, stop pushing. All right. So I've kind of learned that with Paola and applied it to Moses. When I see him like in that edge where he's like bubbling, I also
It's gonna rage, and that's
What does that do?
yeah.
What does that do for anybody?
I've had to learn how to like pull back a bit
Choose your battle.
from that. Yeah, because like for me, like when you, it's funny because you asked that question, and my first thought was like, I don't choose battle. Every single battle, I go into it. Every single battle.
And I face it head on, and yeah. All right, Goggins, relax.
But because literally that's how I go through the emotions, the experience. To me is like, all right, what are we trying to do here? Immediately, like my brain goes into that. And if I don't, so like Mo talked about him, like he'll take a few weeks, or Paola is like maybe a few hours. But for me, those few weeks, those few hours,
Eternity.
yes, like I'm just like, so like that's the thing that I try to avoid. So for me, for my personal reasons, I want to go solve this immediately.
Want to hear some more truth? Sometimes I do it on purpose because I know that it drives them crazy.
well. I was
Petty.
just gonna say it's the aspect of you're telling me we have to do this. Fuck you! I'm not doing it.
Yeah. I have a question for you because this is a question I brought up the other week. You're married to somebody who's essentially he's a coach, right? And his whole viewpoint is I need to fix problems. Are there ever times that you're like, I'm just talking to you and I don't need you to fix shit. I just need you to shut up and listen sometimes?
And I tell him.
Okay.
I
'Cause,
tell
like,
him.
you
I
have
said,
to.
don't coach me.
Yeah.
I don't want a solution. I want to vent, and I want you to tell me this person's stupid.
I learned that too because with my girl, when she starts a story, sometimes I'm like, do you need me to listen? Do you need advice? Or you're just going to talk at me? I was like, because I'm cool with whatever you need.
Just tell me which one.
Let me know.
Precisely. That's also
Let me know what you need from me and I'll give it to you. I promise. It's that simple with me. Like, just tell me what you need and you get it.
Sometimes I just need to vent about work, and I'm like, and I just want to go off.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he tries to, I'm like, no, I don't want a solution. They're an idiot, and that's it. So, and I have to stop him because he can't help himself sometimes. As soon as he starts asking me questions to gather more information, and I was like, no, this is not it. I'm like, this is not it.
Yeah.
I don't want your advice.
Jason here with Mindset U, and I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for tuning in and watching us every week. Since Mindset U is taking a different approach, we need your help coming up with new topics of stuff that you want to hear so that we can give you the best quality possible and the best content possible in general. It's fun. Come on, help us out. Help us help you. Anyway, you can head over to vitoproject.com to watch any of the old episodes and any of the new upcoming episodes that are coming. You could also check us out on Instagram and on YouTube and anywhere else that you could possibly think of that you want us to be. Let us know. We'll be there. All right? Thank you so much.